What's happening, friends? Welcome to Unlocked, the world's #1 Xbox show. It's episode 334 for February 21st, 2018.
That's a lot of alliteration.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
Nice.
Handled,
good job.
handled that one all right. We'll screw up this part now. Don't worry about it. Coming up on this week's show, EA announces the return of Burnout. Maybe it's in the way you want. Maybe it's not. Let's dig into that. Plus, Remedy, the creators of Alan Wake, of course, the original Max Payne creators, they've got a couple of new projects on the way. Got a little bit more detail about those. We'll talk about that. Plus, an old favorite of mine, an old JRPG series that probably no one here is old enough to even remember, and probably none of you listening or watching will even remember, but just humor me for a few minutes on that. So with that, I'm Ryan McCaffrey. We have Miranda Sanchez here.
Hello.
Alana Pierce there. Brandon Tyrell over there.
Howdy.
What?
Hello. Hi.
Yeah.
Howdy.
You kind of
Why
like
did you
looked
say
over
what?
there off.
I don't know which camera we're at right now. I think it's this one. So how you doing?
There are a lot of cameras in
I'm a
here.
little tired.
I'm the one on the painkillers.
I look a little red right now. I'm not sure why, but
Allergies.
Yeah. So
Pretty bad.
we had Craig Duncan here last week, the studio head from Rare, which was
awesome.
a blast, and you missed it.
Yeah, I was really
also
sad to
missed
miss
it.
it, but I had to get a tooth pulled from my face, so. I knew kind of beforehand, as a wisdom tooth, one of them just started hurting a lot and I hadn't been able to eat properly. And then I was like, there is a chance I go to the dentist today and they're like, we're pulling this out of your face right
We
now.
talked beforehand,
Yeah.
and you said exactly that. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, well, I guess I'll see you later. And then I was like, I won't see you later.
did you
Yeah, the
spend the
time
rest
came
of the
around,
day
it's like,
just
she's
like
not here.
on the moon?
Well, it's afterwards, no, because I didn't go under general anesthetic. So I wasn't knocked out. But since then, I've been on a drug called Norco, and that's been happening for the past 5 days. Like people, I'm trying to organize these interviews for DICE, which is currently going down. We're streaming it.
Yes.
And
Check it out.
someone will be like, what time are you free? And I'm like, I don't know how to answer any questions. Like it's really hard.
So you were awake but sedated?
Yeah.
Because that's how I did mine too. Like I had mine out as a teenager, and at the time I was just, I don't know, for some reason I was paranoid. I'd never been under anesthetic before
Right,
for
right.
anything, and I was like,
It's a
they,
risk.
They gave me the option of like, do you want to just be sedated or the full?
Oh, I wasn't sedated. No, they just numbed it. I didn't have any like belly
So
breaks.
you had local.
Oh, I was completely awake.
Oh God.
Wait, did you get
okay.
like the gas that makes you feel kind of?
No.
They did the
nothing.
shot in your gum.
Yeah, they just put a needle in my gum.
No.
I was 100% awake.
It doesn't hurt
I
as
just
much as it
full
sounds.
body.
No,
shiver.
I just don't
Oh, no,
want
the
to
needle
see
didn't.
that.
Yeah, no. It
don't
just
wanna
feels
see
like a little bit of
tools.
pressure.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Because
Yeah.
I did the sedative but conscious sedative versus the full like knock me out, and I remember waking up having no idea where I was or what day it was, and my mom was like, "No, I thought it was like the next day." Or,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a weird experience. And then I also didn't remember anything from the procedure, which is fine.
It's like 10:30 and you wake up,
I
start
have
getting ready for
no
school.
idea. Yeah, no
They
clue.
have
but-
weird effects. It's super interesting, but it is a good time to play video games. It's like the whole weekend I was just like video games, and then I got to a puzzle, and again, my brain just doesn't function, and I lose my train of thought halfway through a sentence, and I just couldn't get through this palace that I was doing in Persona. I was just like, I just can't. I don't.
Oh no.
Oh, it sucks, but everyone has to do it eventually. I don't want to terrify anyone out there who has not done it.
I'm not gonna do it.
Bad. Don't.
Never.
You can avoid it, but
It's
Even my wisdom
important
teeth.
maintenance,
it's
yeah.
fine for some people, so.
This is fine so far.
Welcome to Unlocked, the world's #1 dental podcast.
Yeah.
Kind of like when we start the show off talking about
Wisdom
personal
tooth
tidbits.
unlocked.
Wisdom Tooth Unlocked.
Nice.
It was fun having Craig here, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's a great guy. I mean, we talked to him at E3 a little bit, and talking about the game, and just any time that he can start to slowly reveal more information, and then having him here for like a full-on sit down is so cool. And we talked to him before and after, and
They're all so excited about the game.
They really are.
like
Yeah.
genuinely enthusiastic.
That's just the best.
great.
Like
Yeah.
talking with developers that are obviously about to launch this game. Now they can talk fully about, most things that they have out already in the open, and just a way better discussion. Like I got to listen to it, and it was awesome. So
Yeah.
We got one huge scoop out of him. Just enormous,
Which one was that?
earth-shattering, written up everywhere. No, it was. They're selling the
Oh, yeah,
grog
yeah.
tankard.
The grog
You can
tankard.
get in the game. They're selling real ones in the store. So
So
Yeah.
we
You
need
you can
we need
drink
one.
while you play.
He sent
Each
me a
need one
message
while we
saying
play.
he was sad that I wasn't here because he wanted to talk to me more about like NPC development, because that's the thing that I keep asking about. Did you guys end up talking about that?
No, actually, that was a topic we didn't get to. Yeah,
I know someone tweeted recently saying that they were writing dialogue for the
Greg
NPCs.
Malis, like the longest tenured member of Rare. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, and like that's the thing that I cared about, is that I want like the British voice acting and I want all of that stuff. So hopefully we can. Maybe I'll just email him and follow up on that, because I want that game to have characters that I love.
Yes.
Like just goofy,
like
dorky characters.
Especially, like when if you go to this island, this outpost, you're going to meet this NPC that's goofy in this way is going to be there.
I'm so excited about this game.
I can't wait
so
to
close.
find all the cool little Easter eggs and references to, Cutthroat Island and Pirates of the Caribbean and all
But they also have, I might have spoken about this on the show before, but they have things in the game that are an ode to people who've played the alphas and the betas.
Right,
Like there was one guy who just kept trying to jump off of as high as he could to die, and they put a grave in the game with his gamer tag on it, I believe. And it's like
so
they've
cool.
done stuff like that for the community
flew
too.
too close to the sun.
Yeah.
Icarus.
Yeah.
We are now, for all the talk of Xbox has no games, we're T-minus under less than a month to go until, as we talked with Craig about, like the first major new first-party IP for Xbox in a long, long time. It's less than 30 days away. So it's,
Have we spoken about when do you think State of Decay 2 is coming out?
Well, they said spring, didn't they? That was the last we heard. So until we hear of a delay, I would have to think that's going to be the case. And Crackdown, also they had said spring, but they've also been radio silent there.
Right.
Exactly.
So my guess would be that one of them will hit the spring and the other one will delay.
I think
We'll
we
hit
get
summer,
State of Decay 2 in May.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was guessing. Like spring, as in like the last possible minute of spring.
Yeah, but it's got to not be on 420 because that's Labo and God of War. So
And a couple other things, I think.
yeah, there's like a bunch of stuff on 420. So hopefully like earlier in May, and then I would guess Crackdown is the one that gets delayed again.
We just don't know.
Coming off a series
we
of
don't know at
delays,
this
yeah.
point.
We just haven't seen enough of it. No one's played it except Destiny.
I'd rather that get delayed than State of Decay, though, because I don't play State of Decay like earlier.
I was thinking about it the other day, and like
No.
Fortnite is the hottest thing right now.
Yeah.
State of Decay has
So hot right
Fortnite
now.
elements. So for people who haven't played the first State of Decay, who might have played Fortnite, which is incredibly popular at the moment, it could be a really easy thing for them to jump onto.
Very true.
I feel like State of Decay, even though the original game, sold well over 1 million copies, was this huge hit on Live Arcade in 2013. I still feel like it's
Under the
like
radar?
a sleeper and no one knows what it is,
Yeah.
despite over 1 million sold. Because you're right, like it's. And I think I phrased it this way in my original review. Like it's the zombie game I'd always wanted to play, where it was about the sort of. It was a role-playing game. It was about the managing your group, and like this person, if you didn't maintain the food levels, they'd be like, oh, you can't keep your people fed. I'm out of here. And
Yeah.
then you'd lose the help, and
Yeah.
it's a relationship management zombie survival game. It's not just about it's actually less about the action than anything else.
Right, which is something that I'd always wanted because that's all we had was just the action, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And like your solo survival, kill all the zombies.
The
Like
Left
this
4
one's like,
Dead.
but what if you take care of a community?
Right.
And recruit people for your community and build that up and forge bonds that will help you survive through this.
Yeah.
It's the mobile game, This War of Mine. I think that's what
Oh yeah. It was on a bunch of different platforms, but yeah, it's sort
You're
of
right.
like
It
the
is.
psychological horrors of war.
Yeah, and it was like a lot to do with relationships and like making sure people didn't leave and like the chances that they would take if they did. And I love that kind of stuff. I think it's a lot.
Yeah, I still feel like that State of Decay 2, despite the fact that it's a big budget sequel to this little, basically indie game, I still think it's going to surprise a lot of people. And you're like, what? What's this?
Yeah.
I'm really excited about both of these, and I'm excited about E3 this year. I feel like this is a really, really good year for Xbox. And this year's E3 conference, more than any of the ones previously, I feel like we're going to get a lot of announcements.
Yeah, I think
and
so too.
If
They're in a
we
good
got-
place right now.
We've got Sea of Thieves in March. I agree completely that May seems, until we hear of a delay, like May is probably a pretty good estimate for State of Decay. I also agree that the continued radio silence on Crackdown's probably not a great sign.
Yeah.
Right.
I would put my In-N-Out Burger lunch bet on August for that game. Like, because any later than that, I think Crackdown just dies.
Microsoft still owes us In-N-Outs because on an episode we
I thought it
said.
was just you, though. Not. Are we all involved in
I
this?
think it was the whole group of us
Oh,
that were
excellent.
saying that it was
Do I
going to be
inherit this?
delayed.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah,
like
you inherit
you like by association can have In-N-Out. No, I got an email from the PR rep being like, I think the email said like, hey, you can't say anything about this yet, but we owe you all in and out. Like it was like a second before they announced that Crackdown 3 had been delayed.
Oh,
So I feel like, maybe we can get more this time. They still haven't delivered on the first one, but if it's pushed to August, double in and out.
yeah. Because like August, it could still get that sort of window where
They can't go later.
Right. It's after the inevitable summer drought, and people are like, okay, ready for something new. Okay, there's this Crackdown thing we've been finally waiting for. Let's see how it is. But you get into September or in October, for November, forget about it. It's not. It's not going to be a
There's
good.
no room.
Especially with, again, we did a whole show about Red
Go
Dead
back
2.
to
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Rockstar's claim to
I think
fall.
I feel like it's August. If it misses spring, which is what its window technically is right now, it's cracked. It's August or bust for Crackdown 3 as far as 2018
Do you think it's going to be,
exactly.
with State of Decay 2 and Sea of Thieves being very heavy on multiplayer and online and games as service, do you think that they'll end up doing that with Crackdown? Make it really games as service focused? Because I really love the campaign.
Unless they've completely torn the
Changed
whole
it.
thing down and changed
Well, it was all cloud.
Right. Well, that
Right,
was
but
that was the big
separate, you're right.
that was a big
side,
component
yeah.
of it, right?
Right.
The destruction was going to be on the cloud.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking for a great campaign out of it, a
too.
4-player co-op campaign, which is what the first one really was the strength there.
Gotta collect those orbs.
If the multiplayer turns into this amazing like Azure cloud-powered Destructathon, great. That's what.
no, I know.
It's
It's
such a
just-
weird phrase
that's
thing.
what
It's
that
like the
phrase is so
destruction is
funny.
powered by the cloud.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Rain is cloud-powered too. It's true.
Yeah.
It's a natural occurring phenomenon.
So is
in
everything
nature.
to do with the
Final
weather.
Fantasy VII, cloud powered.
Yeah, cloud powered. Yeah.
Yes.
Technically Zach powered, but it's
Well,
separate thing.
Well, it's like if we want to get into it.
yeah.
So, and
yeah.
then we got to get Ori and the Will of the Wisps in there too.
yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna. I mean, we're obviously
Well,
gonna get a lot more dates at E3.
Yeah, and I think we'll probably get announcements at E3, and I actually feel like we might get
Ooblets.
announcements to things.
I need
Ooblets.
to know when Ooblets is coming out.
We could get
Wait, that's
announcements.
not
for
already
things.
out.
Not yet.
No.
That's this year sometime.
Oh, okay.
We could get announcements for things that are coming out this year, which Microsoft doesn't tend to do, but I think with the ID at Xbox program, we'll probably get a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically everything cool from all the cool ID stuff from last year's E3 mostly hasn't been seen.
We Happy Few is the end of this year now after that delay.
Is that?
Or was it
I thought they
July?
just pushed it out to summer.
Might
I
be
thought,
July.
I could swear they said. I don't know if they gave a specific.
Oh, I'll
I
check.
think they gave a month.
Yeah. Thank you. But it was. Yeah. They pushed it out from April, and I think it's summer. We'll see when. But the last night.
Yeah.
Which was like probably the one
Yeah.
out of all of them that really
Blade
was,
Runner looking thing.
yeah, head and
Yeah,
shoulders
that cool
above everything
platformer.
else.
Yeah.
That's who knows when. There's no date on that.
I mean, there's definitely stuff in the pipeline. It's just all
Oh,
about
yeah.
where it's going to fall. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, can there be? I wonder if any of them have Cuphead kind of potential, like where they're going to come out and sell
Yeah.
1 million copies. Like, it would seem like last night would be the one out of that group, based on what they showed at E3 last year.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
recipe on their website. That's not what I was looking for.
it sounds really good
I
right
still really, really love We Happy Few. I like that game a lot.
Absolutely.
Very cool.
That is probably the ID at Xbox game I'm most excited about. Though, is it still ID at Xbox? That was just, or was it even announced?
That's
this one? Maybe
well,
it
it's
wasn't.
being published by Gearbox now, so I would think
And I don't
no,
think
it's not an ID game
It's
anymore.
not exclusive either.
No. Wait. No, I don't think so.
I think it's coming to PlayStation
yeah, I
too.
believe.
I think it's just summer.
Just says summer.
Okay.
Summer
I don't know where I got
2018.
July from.
Yeah. Maybe it will be July.
Yeah,
Could happen.
maybe
It
I
is
just
summer.
I predicted that somehow.
Wait, her summer or our summer?
Oh, that's very true.
Miss Winter
Summer
of Arcade.
Yeah.
Yep, it's for Xbox One, PC, and PS4 summer 2018.
There you go.
So-
Cool.
All right. Well, let's get to some news. There actually isn't much of it this week.
No, it's
so,
pretty quiet.
I'm glad we managed to ramble our way.
Yeah, if you
into
couldn't tell by the rambling, we don't have a lot of news.
Yeah, but the big story this week is Burnout, which a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, Ryan, you must be so excited!" Like, wait,
The wrong Burnout.
yeah, wrong Burnout.
Yeah.
you guys. But I mean, hey, it's
Because I thought that too when I saw the announcement. I was like, Ryan. I was like, oh, wait, no.
oh, hang on a second. So it's Burnout Paradise.
Yeah.
It's getting a remaster. It's going to be out in, it was March, right? I'm remembering that correctly. March for $40, includes all the DLC that was released. If you're watching on video, you're obviously seeing the remastered trailer right now.
Looks good.
Yeah, it does. 4K.
Yeah, I mean, that engine, which was the Criterion engine that, of course, powered Grand Theft Auto 3 and that generation of GTA games. The name of that engine escapes me now. It's in my brain somewhere. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know.
it ages pretty well. Just because it's it's got like a style to it, but not. It's weird. It's like this almost. It's not hyper modern style, but it's not cartoony either.
Yeah, it's like realistic with a shade of cartoon.
Yeah,
Just very
I
light.
think that's a good.
I
way
feel
to
like
put it.
because of that, it ages very well.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've got Burnout Paradise remastered. I'm not hating on this, but it is the wrong Burnout.
Yeah, well,
Number one.
one of them. Anyway.
I do think this is too much money for what it is.
For $40?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think $40 is overpriced. And people are like, well, but Ryan, it comes with all the DLC and stuff. Yeah, but this is a 10-year-old game that you can, by the way, get on backwards compatibility. You could go buy the 360 version, granted without the. I don't think it's with the DLC. It's like $20 or something.
Yeah, but it doesn't have all the bells and whistles.
No.
The remaster.
And
I think you're right.
odds
It
are
is a lot.
this is almost certainly, just because it makes sense from a financial perspective, it's probably the PC version, sort of polished up a little bit.
The Microsoft Windows version, yeah. That they
In
released.
other words, I am a little skeptical of how much sort of specific new gen effort has gone into this version. That it's tough to tell from that trailer there. So yeah, I mean, I know it really sounds like I'm super negative on this, but
It could be a step in the right direction too. This is them. Oh, you have it written here. Testing.
Go
the
ahead.
waters.
It's all those are notes for all of us. Yeah, no, I do think that's the one thing I hold on to is, are we testing the waters for a proper new Burnout with it?
Or is this the sort of plugging the hole of no Burnout because Criterion is working on other stuff now?
And this could also be them like, hey, buy this so we can have more money so we can make a new Burnout.
Yeah,
Like, sometimes
maybe,
It's just
maybe.
the thing you gotta do. It's like in between releases. It's like, hey, just give us. We'll put this back out, and hopefully this can help fund the next thing they're working on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit more.
I know so many people had a great time with this game, and I wouldn't take that away from them at all. For me,
But Ryan, you can drive a DeLorean.
I know that is, but Burnout always worked way better to me as a closed circuit racing game rather than an open world game where you're zooming around and all of a sudden, well, damn it, I missed that turn.
Yeah.
I guess this race is screwed. And all arguments about this game for me come down to one thing that I'm immovable on. I'm dug in. You can't change my mind. And that is, you could say anything you want about Burnout Paradise, and I will counter with, but they took out crash mode.
Yeah. Which is
That's it.
That's it.
That is the
I mean-
end of the discussion for me.
Yeah.
It's fair. I think this is EA. They're doing some interesting stuff right now. So you have the EA Originals program,
Yes.
which I didn't get to talk about on the show, but
Faye just came out last
they
week.
just came out. Tom didn't like it that much. I did just get a code, so I'll give it a try and maybe I can talk about it.
I
Next week.
tried it, and I don't know. I was kind of,
you try
I
it?
was aggressively bored by it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
How much did you play?
Not much.
So I love the start of it,
Really?
but I don't. I said when we spoke about the preview that I was worried that it wouldn't hold me for a very long time, and
Well, it
I don't
doesn't-
know what gave me that concern, but it's probably valid. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if it really has to. From what Tom was saying, it's like a 5 to 6,
Anyway,
7.
Let's
I don't
still-
wanna- I don't wanna
it's
get
still
on
a few
the
hours
track
to
here while we're
commit.
talking about
Yeah,
Burnout,
but then, the EA Originals, they're working on a Way Out as well, and then there's one more that's
Sure.
supposed to come this year, and that's a thing that EA is doing for zero profit, which is really cool. But then there's the controversy recently that was a rumor about Lucasfilm wanting to take the Star Wars license to other people like Ubisoft.
They have a contract. Hello, you guys
Like,
signed a deal with EA.
The
This is what it is.
potential there, which is what, the legal grounds is that, they went to EA because EA had so many studios that could make games.
Right,
and
right off the
since,
bat.
Right, but they only made 2. And
Well,
that deal
right
was
now,
like
yeah.
2014?
It was 10 years. I don't know if there was a specific number of games.
Right. So it
dictated in
depends on what the
contract.
paperwork says,
Yeah.
but they could be like, you aren't meeting our expectations. And I wonder if that could
It's not going to hold up in court.
If there's like a breach of
Yeah.
contract, I mean, maybe like they have a clause in there that says we need 4
kind of
titles
my thought.
at the end of the 2 years, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, with Visceral's 1 gone now,
Yep.
we have whatever Motive is doing with Battlefront, whether that be more Battlefront or something else or like DLC, and then you've got Respawns.
Yeah,
which
I'm
is in
pretty sure
development right
Motive's
now.
working on a new IP right now. Like, they're not working on another
Right.
Battlefront. So, the EA is just in a really interesting place. And I wonder if this, which is like the point I'm trying to get to, is them like sort of trying to recalculate and get back to their roots and do things that people love. Like Burnout, bring back Burnout.
Yeah.
Like, rather than, just keep giving us DLC or things with microtransactions, that like rethinking everything and just being like, okay, let's start from ground zero because everyone's pissed at us right now.
Yep, I agree. I kind of want to see them move away from a little bit of the games as a service. Like, it's something we keep bringing up about all the games we've talked about. And that's great. Obviously, they're very popular right now. But I'm also just like, don't forget the other games.
That's what the Star Wars game that was the Amy Hennig one.
Yeah, I
was
know.
gonna be.
Yeah.
No. And then that was its own conundrum of what single player means and like why people love it and other things. But I'm sure we'll see plenty of that at E3. Like I think we'll get a lot of narrative driven first person games. So I think that's gonna be fine.
Here's my other thing about Paradise, specifically Burnout Paradise. I can't say for sure because I haven't played it in years, but my expectation is it will not hold up well in a post Forza Horizon 3 world.
So the thing with that, Ryan, is
see.
that no arcade racer holds up well compared to Forza Horizon 3.
Well, exactly.
Well, especially when you remove the gimmick, right? Which Burnout was definitely known for one awesome thing, and with that not really around anymore. It's tough. It's just another racer.
This is like the opposite of like how I feel towards most video games, but with Forza Horizon, I'm like, everyone else stop. This genre's done. Like just let them keep making it. We don't need any more. It's perfect. We're good. Like that's like a terrible attitude. They need the competition. Like we should get lots of games. And I'm like, no, we've perfected it. It's done. Oh, it's so good. I still jump back in every now and then.
Yeah.
And
So
and inevitably people were on my Twitter feed were like, oh, I wish it had been Burnout 3, and there were definitely some revenge people in there too.
Takedown.
And again, you kind of go back to the likely business explanation for this is because it's the one on the most recent generation of hardware architecture that's the easiest to bring forward.
I think
it would have been a much larger undertaking to take the PS2 original Xbox era Burnout 3 and sufficiently bring it up to code.
You're not even remastering at that point. You're remaking.
Making it.
Yeah.
Is that what you would have wanted them to do?
Three is the game. I believe
A collection would have been cool.
That would have been cool.
I like your big thinking on that. Yeah, for me, 3 is the single greatest racing game ever. Period.
Yeah.
And I know,
Horizon.
there's simulation games and all that stuff, but you if you put me on a desert island and say you can take one racing game with me, it's Burnout 3 tickets.
You wouldn't say
you
Forza
lift your
Horizon?
shirt and the tattoo.
I actually wouldn't as much as I like. It's right there, believe me. But Burnout 3 is all time for me.
Yeah.
for sure.
All
Burned
right.
a hole in your heart.
Sucks to be wrong, but
Sorry, Ralph. It's not the first time. It's like a daily.
never been wrong before.
It's
Never. No.
my whole life. It's a big bowl of wrong.
Series of
Big
events.
bowl of wrong.
What was I gonna say? There was. Yeah, I think
What
we
is-
covered all of our burnout points.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we get. It's it'll be out soon, and we'll see what the sort of if people take to it in 2018. And then see if most of the talent that let's say this goes really well. Most of the key people, the original Burnout creators, are long since scattered to the wind. They're not at Criterion anymore. But that's not to say that if EA did fire up a new Burnout, whether it was at Criterion and the people that work there now or another studio, that's not to say it couldn't be great. I mean, look at Doom 2016 is the perfect example of like most of the original creators had departed, but they came in and made an incredible game. So I would love to see a new Burnout game. That would make me happy.
Well, part of me wonders is if this is testing the water, right? Are they testing the water for new Burnout, more Burnout, or are they testing the water for remasters, right? Because the EA has come out and said, like, that's like way back in the day, that's not really our business plan. We're not interested in that.
They were much more, let's say,
massive-
forceful about it than that. They were like,
I'm being polite.
they're creatively.
Yeah,
Didn't
they
use-
will never do it or something.
Right, or didn't they mention the term creatively bankrupt, or like if we'd be out of ideas or something
Yeah.
if we did remasters.
It took
That was
a hard
before,
day.
I think.
Smash cut to a year and a half later. They give an
Here we
interview where
are.
they're like, well, our thinking has changed on it. We're not as opposed to it as we once
We've
were.
evolved as
Yeah,
a
we
company.
evolved
So yeah, we
To
saw
suit
how
the
other
consumer's
people
needs.
bought up those other remasters and said, "Hey, what if we do that too?"
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
but
this
EA won't
was
do
the,
it unless they can put microtransactions in it.
So I'm gonna read so far into this that it's totally not even fair. But let's
do it. Game on.
Yeah, right. This opens the door if the policy is now changed at EA. That means when after Anthem, when BioWare starts spinning up whatever the Mass Effect reboot or sequel or whatever the new Mass Effect game will inevitably be in 5 years from now, meaning when they start making it in 5 years from now, remaster of the original trilogy on on Xbox.
I'd take that.
On Xbox Y.
2.
Yeah.
Xbox One.
By then I'll probably be on my like 5th replay or something. So
Probably,
that'd be
yeah.
good. I've already got 3
You got a
down.
long way to go
About
to
to
catch
start 4.
Destin. Although I'll bet you've
Yeah.
played as
a-
female shepherd
I've
way
played
more
as,
than he has.
I've played as both shepherds, so I have a very different perspective.
Equal
of Destin.
opportunity shepherd.
Yes.
over there.
You gotta hear all the voice lines. I want both.
Some people
Every
say
experience.
that Jennifer Hale's voice acting is better. I also only played as male Shep,
I think.
but I didn't play it 30 times.
Yes, she has. It's consistently better.
We have this cosplay show at IGN where what's it called? Hero Makeover.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is actually very cool and heartfelt.
It's an awesome show.
Yeah, it's basically about people who, like, one of them was a father and son who kind of had an odd relationship. There was a girl who was in a wheelchair, and they turned them into cosplayers. And that's actually the VO is done by Jennifer Hale, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, I kind of freaked out a little bit when.
Well,
I
it
heard
sucked
that.
because I also like did the voice lines for that, and it was like an audition.
They
and
recast you?
my competitor was Jennifer Hale, and I was
Well-
like, you know what? It's good. No, I'm good. It's
Just go get
it's not
coffee or
gonna work
something
out for
instead.
me at all.
Yeah.
But it's so good, and she does a really good job. And you should definitely check out that show if you haven't seen it. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
she's a pro.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yes, quite literally. Yes.
It's only Shepherd, you know.
Yeah.
You were like,
do we know who did Male Shep?
I always
I
forget his
can't
name.
remember the actor's name.
Yeah, like
Yeah, I don't know.
he was very rocky to start with in Mass Effect 1, but as Mass Effects go on, you can see him really own the character of Shepard, and definitely feels more natural.
Yeah.
You were like Chris Pratt in the Super Bowl Miller Lite commercial, where you thought this commercial was yours, then you show up and you're just like
Really
in a
didn't have
giant
it.
line of.
You're doing like Cape
like, that was a
Fear.
good
You're doing
commercial.
Cape Fear workouts in front of a mirror while you're reading your VO. Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't
Oh
work
my
out well for me.
goodness.
But
Right.
yeah, I mean, I'm okay with what. Well, are there other EA games that you guys would like to see be announced? I'm okay with remasters. That's my stance. It's like I'm cool with it.
Again, with me, it's always goes back to like if it's old enough, then
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there's a reverse statute of limitations. It's like a statute of minimalist, whatever that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I'd really like them to see a remaster for Mass Effect, like just the original, just because like that game does not handle super well anymore.
Well,
like,
yeah, like pump it up to 4K, take out the load times.
Yeah.
The load times are pretty bad. Yeah.
Yeah, polish up the
polish the combat a little bit
Yeah.
more, like make it a little bit more modern. Like it doesn't have to
UI is a bit
completely
weird as
change
well.
it. Yeah,
the
like
PC UI
yeah,
in
like
it, maybe.
keep what makes it Mass Effect, but also modernize it a little bit. Like that would be really nice.
Yeah.
Totally
So
down
I
with
can
that.
keep replaying it because that'd be great. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's all I want. I know I have new games to play, but let's keep doing that.
I mean, they got a really deep catalog of like quiet ones. I mean, there was a shooter called Black that came out.
Yeah.
That
another Criterion game, actually.
Criterion game that I think would be really cool to play again. I remember playing that
I
game
think
and
you're
just
very wrong. Like, I don't think you would enjoy that.
I might
in
be playing it with
2018.
like rose-colored memories right now. But like I'm a big fan of strategy games too, and it's next to impossible to find a strategy game that works well on a console. But they had a series called Battle for Middle Earth that was really, really good.
Those are really good.
That would be an awesome one. Plus, you get to play as like famous characters from the Lord of the Rings series, and I'm a big fan of that series, so that would be awesome as well. And there's a bunch of like cool stuff. I mean, guilty pleasure, like Dante's Inferno, like that was.
I still haven't played that game. I talk
okay,
about it all
so
the time.
it's-
I've been wanting to play it forever.
It gets a bad rap.
And
It's,
we
it's
just
not.
heard Ryan groans.
I know
So.
audibly,
You're
right?
off the show. It's been like
What's
2
funny
weeks.
is we're taking a trip for the next 2 days, and I'm not going to hear about anything but this. But the level design in that game is amazing. The way that they like create the levels to make it look thematically appropriate to like what you're
Which
going
circle
through.
With the circles of hell, yeah.
Like greed, there's like liquid or molten gold coming out of the walls, and everything is just super.
I'm just waiting for
gaudy.
that one to be backwards compatible. Like, not that it had ever happened, but
Yeah.
I that was one of a few 360 games that I bought to the US with me because I still haven't played it.
Right.
And it's still in the plastic, but I still want to play it.
Don't let me oversell it. It's not a great
I've
game.
been wanting to play it forever. It seems like the kind of game that I would love.
Stylistically and artistically, I think it's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
All right. Next up this week, Remedy, makers of Alan Wake, sorry, Alana,
Quantum Break.
and Quantum Break.
Yeah.
Yes, they they released their financials. They're a private company, but or maybe they're not, because they did disclose some financials for 2017, and some news sites, including IGN, picked up on it. And there's a couple of little nuggets in there, and that is, so we knew they're doing the single player for a game called Crossfire 2. That's in the works. But then their next wholly original project still doesn't have an official, or at least a public name. It's just got the code name P7, which stands for Project 7. And it is now, they say that is due out next year. So we're going to look for that in 2019. All we know about it is the previous description they gave, which is, quote, a cinematic third-person action game set in a new Remedy-created universe. P7 will create game mechanics and storytelling techniques that will offer gamers longer-lasting game experiences.
I feel like that quote could apply to Quantum Break. So it's
so
like,
that was what I was just
Well,
thinking
minus
too.
the longer-lasting part, because Remedy's games to date
Yeah.
have always been very not replayable. And
Linear.
I don't say that in a mean way, but
No, I wouldn't go back to Quantum Break.
they're like,
so I actually replayed that game a bit for the achievements. Because it was just like a lot of collectible based stuff, and it did do a good job of, in the Assassin's Creed kind of way, telling you like how many things you had found in a certain area.
yeah.
But I think you're right, story wise, not exactly replayable.
So I wonder what that means
Different
for
choices.
P7. What are they going to be doing that's going to create sort of a longer tail that's inevitably going to involve microtransactions? So they can,
I mean, when you said we'll create game mechanics and storytelling techniques that offer gamers longer-lasting game experience, I think Quantum Break with like a choose-your-own-adventure spin-off.
Right. It's like when you say that there are storytelling techniques at play to make a longer lasting experience, that means you're going to have multiple endings. Like to me, like
Quantum
you're gonna have
Telltale. Telltale Break.
more options.
Telltale Break.
But yeah, it is also in a new Remedy created universe, so it won't be called Quantum Break.
Yes, for sure,
And
yeah.
I mean, to play devil's
Sadly.
advocate, though, like, is Quantum Break a new universe, a new Remedy-created universe? It's their most
was
recent
new.
one. It was new.
I mean, it was, but yeah, I
now
think
it's
you're right.
time
This
for a
is
new
totally
one.
new.
I totally agree with you. I think
Yeah.
it's a new. It's that new universe.
Kids love that new.
The new.
The other thing buried in this was that late this year, they're going to start spinning up another new project. So this, Alana, I think is where we finally get to, we can start, if we start spinning up the Alan Wake 2 hype train now, maybe we can build up enough momentum where it's
to lead into
impossible
it.
to stop.
They've clearly already done pre-production. Like we can't
Yeah.
make them do it.
Yes, we can.
I would be okay
Look
with
at-
Alan Wake.
Look at
So-
Mass Effect 3. Gamers made them change that ending.
So-
we can do anything.
Let me
You
ask
believe.
3 colors explosion.
Let me ask you this: do you want a new Alan Wake experience, like picks up 15 years later or whatever, or do you want it to?
Don't ask her 'cause she hates Alan
to
Wake.
continue
Whoa, really?
off of American Nightmare.
Yes, she
I
hates
never,
Alan
I
Wake.
never had to play it because
But I mostly hate Alan Wake
really?
because of
Yeah,
how
I
much
thought it was
other
supposed to be
people
spooky.
love Alan Wake in face of its mediocrity.
Contrarianism.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's like I hate it more just because everyone else loves it. But
Yeah, I was
it annoyed
told-
me. I finished it twice though.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
Wow.
So you have
you
a very,
hate played it.
yes.
Well, that's good. Like you gave it a double take, like a good perspective to see like what you didn't like about it. And like,
stuff
you were
that I
very
like about it, I think
affirmed
it's-
you do not like it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the stuff that I dislike about it. I dislike a lot.
Okay.
Like I found it very grating. The reasons are, and I've totally spoken about
Flashlights.
this before.
You just hate flash.
I actually did like the combat. I thought the combat was cool. Is that it? Alan as a character annoys the crap out of me because you're supposed to be like going to find his wife, but all he does is complain about how much he hates his wife. So I'm like not convinced that he has the motivation. He's like, my dumb wife, I gotta go find her. Oh, she's so
That's
annoying.
not a line of dialogue from the
and
game.
he's so whingy all the time.
But he's doing it anyway.
He's
The
an
same way
author.
you
But he
play
doesn't
American.
want to.
Alan
I
Wake.
think
Remember,
that's the thing is that he's just such a cliche, sad author,
but
drunken
it's
alcoholic.
so tongue in cheek though. Like the whole that's
It's
what
not.
makes it
It's
fun.
not.
So when this came out, I remember my friends telling me it was scary. And so
It
I
is
was just-
scary.
So they're like, you shouldn't play
A
it,
little
Marina.
spooky here and there.
'Cause I'm very bad about
Well,
spooky games.
I think it's stressful the way the combat works. You know, you have to shine the light and then you attack them. And I think that like when there's a lot of them approaching you, it can get really scary. But there's a lot of like psychological horror stuff that it does really, really well.
Okay, so like that's the thing I'd have a hard time handling because like that's the
It is scary.
biggest reason I've kind of avoided playing it, even though I know a lot of people love it.
Yeah.
Does that mean
Not
that you
alone,
haven't
sorry.
played Deadly Premonition?
I started that. I've started
This game of made.
working on it. It's Twin Peaks.
Wow.
It's Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks the game. And then I was
Peaks
just
the
like,
game,
this
yeah.
isn't Twin Peaks.
It's so Twin Peaks, but
It is
I've never
Twin Peaks,
seen
but I
Twin
was-
Peaks, so I can't.
Whoa, then it ruined it for you because I had just watched Twin Peaks and it ruined it for me. I was
Really?
like, this is like Twin Peaks, but not.
But not as good.
It's not. That's not
It's the
Dale
best game
Cooper.
ever. I love it.
You're trying too hard.
I didn't find Alan Wake scary. I found it like anxiety inducing.
I think
Yeah,
that's
so
Where
I
I'm
have
just
a
like-
problem with that kind
Stressful.
of tense.
yeah.
So maybe
I didn't find it scary in the way PT is scary, right?
Okay.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
actually
So if
scary.
they announce an Alan Wake 2, I will play Alan Wake. I will force myself through.
Alan
it.
Wake.
I don't have
American
we can play
Daydream.
it with
Let's
you.
play together.
Yeah.
There
okay,
has
that.
there has to be this project that they're going to start at the end of the year has to be Alan Wake 2 for the sole reason of they already told us it's not a lake, it's an ocean.
Whoa.
Does that mean
There's always an lighthouse.
out in the ocean?
There's always
Does that mean that it will?
Alan Lake.
Would it be an Xbox exclusive or not?
I doubt. No way.
But like
Because they need to make money, so they need like as many platforms.
But
as
business
possible.
wise, that is possible. That they're an independent studio, but Microsoft could have gone to them and been like, "Hey, we want exclusivity on Alan Wake. Let's pay for that." That is possible, right?
It's very possible.
Sure.
They could have done that.
Yeah.
I think that Microsoft would try to do that at this stage.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it would be smart for them to do that.
I mean, I don't care as long as there's an Alan Wake 2. I would actually want it to be on as many, let as many people play it as possible.
Yeah.
I feel that way about pretty much everything.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
for sure.
There was the rumors that Spyro is being remastered, the first 3 Spyro games.
Right, and it'll be a timed exclusive for PlayStation.
Right, so it will be coming to Xbox, but I was blown away by the amount of comments of people being like, keep it on PlayStation. Like, why wouldn't you want other people to enjoy the thing you have? I don't understand. Just everyone can have it, and it's great for everyone. It's so odd. That also, part of that rumor was that the Crash remaster or remake will also be coming on Xbox. So we'll see if that pans out. That'd be fun. The Spyro has been on Xbox quite a few times, but yeah.
I refuse to play Crash Bandicoot unless it's within Uncharted 4. The only
I
way
actually
I play
like
that.
That was really fun though.
That was a great moment.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite.
So
thing
what do you
from
think
that
would
game.
happen in Alan Wake 2? I don't remember what happens at the end of the first game.
Well, I don't want
probably wears
Yeah, I'm not going to
flannel.
ruin it for.
I'll just
2 is
Miranda.
possible. I remember the
Definitely
the
2 is
farm. I
possible.
remember all the advertising for all those batteries everywhere.
Yeah, Duracell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I remember hearing about those
placement.
weird advertisements
Billboards,
and seeing
yeah.
some stuff from Alan Wake in Quantum Break.
Yeah.
And
It's
they're
actually
like, oh,
kind
yeah,
of
that's
cool.
from Alan Wake, and I was like, oh.
But I mean, there was the American Nightmare sort of standalone expansion
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
which so there's plenty of left in the Alan Wake universe if Remedy decides to go for it.
To go back. Yeah.
Yeah, please. All right, and finally this week I'll keep this brief because
Yeah.
I don't want everyone else to fall asleep, but
No. So I watched a little bit of gameplay of it, and it looks interesting.
So please pronounce this for us.
I will. It's spelled YS.
Capital Y.
Wise.
Lowercase.
The
s.
game, it's called Ys. That it is pronounced Ys.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why. That's just how it is.
Why,
I-
Ryan?
Right before the show, I was like, I've never heard of Wise. And you're like, oh.
That's what I read it as.
I remember there was an announcement for the series recently, like not this one, but I think around E3 or something, and everyone was talking about it, and people kept saying Wise, and I heard some people in the office just groaning and like, please
Yeah,
stop
you can
calling
just,
it that. And I was
hear the teeth grinding.
oh.
Okay, is this gameplay here?
And I
This is the trailer that was released. So the news is Ys Origin is coming out on Xbox One this spring. Which so Ys Origin is a remake of Ys 1 and 2, which is obviously the games that started it all. Ys is an action RPG series. It was an action RPG before they were called action RPGs. When they were just a JRPG that happened to have real time combat.
Right.
But it's the cool thing, the thing I always loved about Ys, and it does, I think, hold up very well. Even in the new, like they're up to Ys 8 now, I think.
Really?
They never come out on Xbox. This is the first time the whole series is touching Xbox. But it's basically, it's a very
cute.
deep game. The combat's super fun. It's one of those sort of classic games where you can just build yourself up if you want to put in the time and just power level your character. And then,
I
go
like the
through
look of this a lot.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah,
the
the kinda
cutscenes are
Diablo
great. And the probably the one thing as far as presentation goes that Ys has always been known for, whether it's, this is obviously Origin is a remake of the original.
Right.
I played it on the TurboGrafx 16 CD. It was like a Hallmark signature game
These are the updated
for that.
visuals.
This
Yeah.
looks like something I will love.
The music, the entire Ys series has had just tremendous, like incredible music. People just adore the soundtracks for these games.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if I actually don't know. I'm hoping. I can't imagine it's going to be a $60 game. I don't actually know. But yeah, it's if you this is something different than really anything.
It's just so
on
nice to
Xbox.
see more JRPGs on Xbox.
Yes.
Like honestly, as someone who loves them a lot, I mean, just getting more of them on Xbox makes me happy because I just want to use my Xbox controller to play these very long games.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I want to be careful that I cringe, not cringe, but I worry a little bit when you call it a JRPG.
Sure.
Not because there's anything wrong with JRPGs, but
There's-
because I guess we should probably call it be like a JARPG, like a Japanese action RPG, where it's definitely a Japanese developed game. It's Nihon Falcom is the longtime developer who's still making it. But yeah, it's very much like
Is that just because it's not turn-based that you say that?
Yes.
Right. I mean, like, there's not. I get that. Like, people think when you say JRPG, turn-based combat and stuff,
Yeah.
but that's not always true anymore. Like, really, it's not.
That's true.
So.
Yeah. But keep an eye on it.
Conversations about genres for games can get really interesting.
it's-
Can
Oh,
get
yeah.
real messy.
There's a lot of really good resources online that sort of denote what the difference between a Western RPG and a JRPG is, and it's so convoluted.
Well, the thing is
It's
now
super
so
muddy.
many games
Yeah.
have RPG elements that it's just like action adventure with RPG elements.
Right, and even I would definitely say too. Ys is, and this specifically is a remake of a game from 5 years ago at this point. But even modern day, like even the lines between quote unquote Western RPGs and JRPGs have blurred a lot.
Yeah.
It's
They
fair to
borrow a
say.
lot from each other, and
Yeah,
they should.
Yeah.
absolutely. All right, so
looks
there's
cool.
that. Just something to put on your radar. Comes with a Ryan seal of approval for what little that means. And let's move on with Marketplace Report. What can we spend our money on? What's out this week, Alana?
Metal Gear Survivor's out. That is Xbox One X enhanced. Max and I streamed that yesterday. I think the gameplay will still be up on IGN. You can find it on YouTube really easily, but
Chloe's reviewing it now.
she is. Yeah, it was supposed to be Lucy, but then they couldn't get the code to work, so Chloe's reviewing it right now. We have a review in progress. It's already up, so you can check that out.
And she's not a fan.
Well, the thing
So far.
is, having played through the start of the game, unfortunately, 3 times, it starts with so many cutscenes, just so many, that it's like a flood. The first hour, I think, is cutscenes.
Sounds very like a Metal Gear game.
I mean, that's kind of par for
Basically,
the course, yeah.
Yeah, which is good, and Snake is in a bit, so that's nice. You see him briefly, but the start of the game is just so you pretty much set up to die. As soon as you can get inside of like this mist that's in the surrounding areas, there are just such limited resources that you're just walking around, watching your health and your thirst tick down because you can't find any resources. So the start of it is
You have
just
to eat and
brutal.
drink?
so they're
Yeah.
really driving home the survive aspect of it.
It's a survival.
early on.
It's absolutely
Yeah.
a survival game, but I think at the start it's just frustrating. Interested to see what Chloe thinks though, because I am planning to play more of this because I want to, knowing the controversy of this game, I want to have an opinion on it. Like I want to know what it really is and like be able to look back on it as part of the Metal Gear franchise and all that stuff. But man, the start just whew.
Yeah, from what I've heard from Chloe is that the biggest problem with it is that this game doesn't understand what Metal Gear is or like
Yeah.
how to be a Metal Gear game.
Absolutely.
Or how to just like fit in that.
So there are these 2 really annoying robots that talk to you through everything. They're like in this tube and they speak really, really slowly and they have no personality. And it's like, why wouldn't you give me a character for that? It's Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Just give me a cool character.
Because it's cheaper.
Yeah. But they are voice acted.
Yeah, really?
So it's like it could be just someone over your comms. So it's not like actual Microsoft Sam.
I mean, hearing you guys talk about it makes me...
Fisher, this is Lambert. Yeah, hey buddy.
It reminds me of like what I first thought when I heard this game. Is like, okay, so they had an idea for a game and then they put it in Metal Gear. Like
Yeah.
Metal Gear is the delivery system for their survival experience that they wanted to make.
Yeah, and I had heard that this was Kojima's idea at the start. But we can't verify
Without
that, so
Kojima,
he can't
yeah.
comment on it. But it's doesn't have almost any references to Metal Gear. If you're going for Metal Gear,
Yeah, that's what it's like.
But
The Metal Gear characters are at the very beginning, and then that's it.
Never
Or like the ones that you're familiar with.
I don't even know if it has Metal Gears in it. Like I hope that it does, but I have no idea. But people were talking about like being annoyed about it being a spin-off, and technically Revengeance was a spin-off, but I love Revengeance because it had Metal Gears and it was a Metal Gear
Also-
game, even though it played totally differently.
What a dumb name.
Metal Gear Rising Revengeance?
Platinum.
Yeah.
Wait,
Good
it's
game.
revenge
They make good
or is it
stuff.
vengeance?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of impressions of everyone online talking about it right now. The most common question we got in the stream, because obviously they've done a really bad job of marketing it,
Yeah.
is that yes, you have to play online only, but it is not an MMO. It has a 20-hour single-player campaign.
Cool.
So it is not...
But you have to be connected to play it.
You do, yes, but it is not an MMO. People are like, well, I don't understand. Is this an open world MMO? The other people? No. The multiplayer, you kind of like have to join after a certain point and you can go in, and multiplayer seems fun, but no, it's not an MMO, and seems like it has a really long campaign. I have no idea how story heavy it is aside from the hour of cutscenes at the start. But
I mean, did you guys have any fun when you were playing it? Like, were there redeeming qualities that you're like, oh, you know what, I could.
I think Max, like as he's also a huge Metal Gear fan, took away the same thing that I did, where it's like, I'm very annoyed by a lot of things that are happening right now, but I can see myself getting hooked to this. And I can see, though I don't think it's most people, that there will be a hardcore audience who gets very, very into this game.
Yeah.
And I think it's mostly people who like survival games, but weirdly enough, I want to say it's people who haven't played other survival games.
I kind of just want to play it because I don't know a lot about Metal Gear. Like I know bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I kind of just want to see how it goes.
Yeah.
like being removed from that franchise and just kind of going in.
Yeah, you definitely could.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I've flirted with the series off and on for a decade. Never really like I've skipped 4 entirely and played a little bit of 5.
4 is my least favorite.
But I see this and I'm like, oh, you know what? That gameplay looks interesting. But why wouldn't I just go back and finish 5 at that point? You know?
Yeah,
Like,
and that's part of it. It's like it has some of the remnants of 5, but doesn't do them as well.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of game. It's like I think people who haven't played survival games will probably really like this, but the problem is I don't think it does anything better than other survival games that already exist.
Okay.
So I'm interested to see how it sells.
It's a tough market too. It's like
Yeah.
there's a lot of great survival games out there.
Yeah,
so.
it really is.
Play Ark.
Isn't it not $60?
It's $40.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I think is a good call.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for a long game. We also have the station, where you are sent to a remote space station to discover what has happened to a crew who is tasked with investigating the discovery of alien life. I continue to
Event
absolutely
Horizon.
love those kind of games. Sick of those movies, though.
Tacoma,
Event
but not
Horizon is
Tacoma.
an
Yeah.
amazing movie.
Very
It
different.
is a good movie. But I'm sick of space stuff at this point.
It's true. Yeah.
A little spaced out.
I don't know if I'm spaced out, but like the
Only in
drama,
movies.
the drama aboard a very tightly cramped space
With
station.
Cloverfield
Cloverfield Paradox that just
Paradox.
came out.
It's
and
hard
then-
to make those interesting
Life.
because
Just
they've
a lot
been
of it.
done so much.
Yeah.
It's like you have to have a unique angle.
and they all just try to be alien, but don't do it quite as well. It's like, yeah.
There's something on the ship. Never mind. It's fine.
Yeah. Oh,
Wait,
wait,
there
no,
is.
it's still there.
Yeah, I mean, Gravity was great, right? Because
Gravity was really
it
good,
was like her against her environment. But when you add like
2001 is still incredible.
yeah, that's true. When you add like the alien to it, and it's like if it's not doing what Alien did great, then I feel like you got to raise your bar.
Alien or the other crew members.
This is another Netflix original coming out that's supposed to be the same thing. It's just more space stuff, which I love. It's in my Twitter description. Is just the word space.
What if you just play Mass Effect again?
Good point. Thank you. Tiles is also out February 20th. That's a fast-paced action puzzler. Rad Rogers World 1. That's a platformer. I don't know how to describe that. All right. Xenon Valkyrie, which I believe in America is
Xenon?
Valkyrie.
Yes.
Xenon, is that right? That's February 21st.
Girl, the
I mean,
21st
like the
century?
360, Xbox 360 Xenon?
Yeah.
Like the Disney show.
That one is you explore the deep recesses of the moon. Oh, there's a lot actually this week. Defender's Quest, Valley of the Forgotten DX is also February 21st. Sword Art Online, Fatal Bullet, February 23rd. Miranda, do you like Sword Art Online?
We played it recently.
Played it?
We played it recently. There was a big robot. And it was cool.
I have some feelings about Sword Art Online. It's for another day. It's a
Yay,
long,
anime.
complicated talk. Yay,
week
anime.
is just, welcome everyone. I've given the rest.
Sorry,
of the
let's
day
talk about Sword Art Online now. No, yeah.
Past Cure, February 23rd. Fumiko, February 23rd. Abo Kasham, February 23rd. Symmetry, February 23rd. And Fable Fortune 1.0, February 23rd, which is
It's out of early access.
Yeah, it's a collectible card game.
Based on your Fable. That's your jam.
That is, yeah. And I actually
the
did.
Fable
I did
card
play
game.
it when it was in early access, and I liked it. So
The ex-Lionhead people that actually got the Microsoft's permission to go ahead and make this as with the Fable IP.
yeah.
Fable IP.
No, it's really cool, and yeah, it's very impressive. Marketplace, February Games with Gold, Shadow Warrior, February 1 to 28, Xbox One.
Much better than
That's a
people
good game.
think. Yep.
Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, February 16 to March 15, Xbox One. Less good game. Split Second, February
That's
1st.
over.
That's over. And Crazy Taxi, February 16 to 28, Xbox One and Xbox 360.
Which I just downloaded last night because I have very fond Dreamcast memories of that game.
Yeah.
Just with the
March
Yeah.
games with
Yeah.
gold. For March, we have Trials of the Blood Dragon, March 1st to 31st on
What a
Xbox One.
Bizarre.
Weird but cool. It's
Yeah.
Trials
it's
HD by
more Trials.
Trials HD by Red Links was amazing, and then they added Blood Dragon to it. So
That's the one that has Welcome to the Future.
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
yeah.
You really
I don't know.
I
if,
think the
I don't know if
series-
you're right, but I'm going to support
It
you.
does.
So
The song's
for
really
me,
catchy.
the series peaked with Evolution, right, which is the second.
Yeah.
one.
That's
I think the second one was the best.
Oh,
I like
man.
all of them a lot. though.
HD.
I mean, they're all good.
I really enjoyed HD.
The
Yeah, me
thing for
too.
me, the difference for me, honestly, is HD goes like the difficulty curve on it is like this,
Oh, no.
whereas it's a bit more gradual
Yeah.
in Evolution, which I enjoyed.
Like the first 2 or 3 stages, you're like, man, I'm real good at this game.
You're like, oh
and
no,
then
I'm not.
They need you to land like a 3-inch portion of your tire on a pole.
The thing that always gets me with Trials, like trying to do the expert ones, is when you're on a flat surface and then there's just a box that's just straight up.
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to
gotta,
get
like-
up there?
You gotta like bunny hop
yeah,
and then
but
use
it's
your.
so hard.
Yeah.
I really like those games though. They're a lot of fun. And Trials of the Blood Dragon still feels like Trials. It has some really fun games that aren't the regular tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's one where you have to like fling yourself off your bike and break as many of your own bones as you
Love
can.
those mini games are the best.
Yeah.
You bail out and just destroy yourself.
Yeah, and I think there's the most of those in Blood Dragon. So
Yeah, and I think in Evolution there was one where you like would fling yourself down like into a cave over the handlebars, and the goal was to break as many bones in your body as possible. It's just like
that one was
do this
fun.
all day.
You could also
Wonderful.
keep moving when you landed.
Yes.
So you just like flail around.
Ragdolling is
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah. Fun
This
memories.
is so
of that.
awesome in orbit.
Yeah.
It's like a fish out of water.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you'll stop breaking bones, but if you're close to a ledge and you can get to it.
You just kind of like,
Stuff.
come on.
Yeah.
I love the attitude of that game, like the hidden squirrels and everything.
Yeah.
It's just so much fun.
Yeah.
Piano lands on you when you finish.
It's so silly. Or you explode or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
those games are great. Super Hot, which is also a very super hot. That's March 16 to April 15. Xbox
Yes,
One.
the VR version's better, but this is awesome. Play it.
I actually reviewed it, and I think that's one that I gave too low of a score. I gave it a 7.5, and
Hater.
well, it's a good score. I love the game. The reason, and the VR version is way better, but the reason for that is it doesn't iterate on its purpose much.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing the
agree
whole
with that.
game, and that was the thing that I was like, once you've done one, they get a little harder, but you never like. There's
more
no new
complex.
mechanics
Learning new
or
things, right.
yeah.
It's about 3 hours long, I think, if memory serves. Yeah. Somewhere right around there.
Like a good afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
definitely worth
it is
playing.
absolutely worth playing. Definitely download it if you haven't played it. It's a lot of fun. But man, the VR version is so cool. Like if you can try that, they're almost two separate games, so it's very fun. Brave, also a good game. March 1st to 15 on Xbox One and Xbox 360, and Quantum Conundrum March 16 to 31 Xbox One and Xbox 360.
Never ended up finishing it.
I didn't play it. I heard it's good too, though.
Yeah, it's
right?
Kim Swift.
This is a good
Little
lineup.
follow up.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, I just did not end up going all the way through it.
Yeah.
But
Jeez.
it's very Portal-y. I mean, it's like a Portal sequel that's
It's
just not
supposed to
called,
be, right?
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
think that it was marketed
It's
that
just
way.
not called Portal.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong. She's up at Motive now, isn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
With EA? With
Jade
Mitchie D.
Raymond and that team.
Oh, you guys aren't talking about Mitchie D?
Oh.
with Mitchie D as well.
Okay, Mitch
Dyer.
also.
He's
but
also there.
Friend of the show.
There.
Someone, there was a tweet recently about how Overwatch is hiring games writers. And some people are assuming that means there's an Overwatch 2 coming. And obviously we've said for a really long time that there's never going to be an Overwatch 2. And someone tweeted me and was like, yeah, whoever said that, guess you're getting a job at Blizzard now because that's how it worked for Mitch. He said there would never be a Battlefront 2 and then he wrote it. So it's like, well, one of us is writing Overwatch, I guess.
I don't think
That's
they
really good.
invest in Overwatch 2 anytime soon.
I think that
There's
it would
so
be
much-
more likely that they would, I don't even know if this is possible, but they could add a single player to the existing game.
They totally could.
Just a big
Yeah.
download.
Yeah.
Or that they just work in cutscenes.
I mean, Overwatch is 100% a distribution
platform.
platform.
I could
at
see
this
them
point,
trying to want to build out their lore more. Like, I mean, obviously they have it through their cinematic pieces.
Yeah.
Go out.
But
And the comics and the
Right.
shorts.
Yeah,
and,
it's
like
like
most of the
maybe-
lore
You
happens
have to-
outside.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
streamline that a little bit more into the game.
I think that's the
somehow.
idea.
Love
And
that.
that would make a
love
lot of
that.
sense.
Yeah. Even if it's like a fighting game where you just play a match against
Did you see that?
bots and then what?
Somebody actually took Overwatch. It's a really cool video. Find it online if you can. It's not IGN. It's somebody else did this on their own. But they took Overwatch and turned it into a fighting game just by having like a stationary camera in the game and had two characters like using their
that's fun.
special
That's pretty
abilities
cool.
and punching each other.
Yeah.
It looks amazing. Like the level of polish and work that went into this, I'm blown away.
That is
by it.
cool.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like, have rounds that exist like normal, but then have cutscenes in between, and it makes you play as a certain hero. Like
Yeah.
that could totally work. This
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
love
I mean,
that.
the single player games in Battlefield have always been before like they started the excuse me, like
the mic.
Yeah, I
Settle
know. I'm
down.
so angry, so excited. We're always just like multiplayer games with bots, right?
Yeah.
Where you move through, so it could be something like that.
Yeah.
sort of
It could be cool. It's kind
a
of exciting.
skirmish style mode.
Yeah.
All right, let's do a
Remember how we
little
got here.
unlock block trivia here. Alana out to a bit of a head start in 2018. 4 points. Miranda with 2.
Yes.
Big donut on the board.
Yeah,
Brandon.
someone's got to be
Fat
last.
0.
Please stay in last so I don't go in last.
To
That's all I
be fair,
ask.
I've been on one other episode thus far, and we didn't play Unlock last week. So.
You didn't do
Did
trivia
not.
last week?
We didn't. We ran out of time. We Craiged it up last week.
Yeah.
It was all Craig all day.
So sad I wasn't here.
So I hope I picked the right one because I think I'm legitimately having an allergic reaction right now. Like I'm very
Your
dizzy.
face
well,
has
here
been
we
red this
go.
entire
I'm very
show.
dizzy and red, and I'm getting like the little black,
That's bad,
sparkles.
dude.
See a doctor.
Have you had water
low.
recently?
Should we call
What if
911?
you leave?
What?
Leave. Go.
No, I'm fine. Let's finish up.
Trivia, Miranda.
And I'm
Okay.
gonna go drink a
I'm
bunch of
glad
water.
Miranda's taking on the role of Destiny,
Maybe-
like taking this really
Oh yeah,
seriously.
she's like, yeah. What if you
leave?
get out?
What
No,
if
that
you were
was
to
for.
not
I was
No points
concerned
for
about
you.
his health.
I thought
Yeah,
you.
show you what.
I thought you were
Yeah.
like, "What if you die?" But you were just too polite to say die. So you're like, "What if you leave?" us?"
No, just permanently stay in last place, please, forever. Thank you. Don't let
right.
it be me.
So here we go. David Williams asks, we were talking about Remedy earlier in the show.
Yeah.
Remedy has had a connection to a band since they did, this band did the outro to Max Payne 2. They've done plenty of songs that have been in their games. So this band has had music in Remedy's games. They are the real band behind the in-game fictional band called the Old Gods of Asgard that's in Alan Wake,
Yep.
Alana's favorite game. And sadly, as David notes, they only had a passing mention in Quantum Break. But what was the name of this band who has shown up in a bunch of Remedy games?
Right.
Is it Days of the New, Poets of the Fall, Queens of the Stone Age, or Shepherds of the Ancients?
I've got an answer.
Okay.
I'm gonna go last because I actually know this one.
Oh man,
100%.
I knew this
I-
one as well. I'm a
Yeah.
big Remedy fan.
I do not know this one.
I know this because I actually Google searched the Old Gods of Asgard when I was playing.
Cheater.
So
No, just kidding. If it was when you were playing, it's fine.
All right, what
Yeah,
do you
back
say,
in the day.
Miranda?
No.
yeah.
I'm going with D, Shepherds of the Ancients, because of Dota.
Nice.
That's it.
That would be Sota.
The sequel, yes, Soda.
I'm going with Queens of the Stone Age because they're the only one in this list that I've heard of.
They're same,
Okay.
but Dota.
That's it.
What do you say, Brandon?
Well, because I wanted to learn who the Old Gods of Asgard was, I Googled them many years ago and found out that it is B, Poets of the Fall.
That is correct.
That's what I was-
yes. I actually still their song in Max Payne 2
Yeah.
called Late Goodbye. I loved it so much I went and found it, and like it's in my music library.
Is it really?
It's awesome.
Well, that's how I
Nice.
found
Look it up.
Breaking Benjamin is through Halo.
Through Halo, yeah.
Yeah.
And I
if
found
you-
so many bands
Oh,
through
I just
Tony Hawk.
remembered the 2 weeks ago that trivia.
Yeah, if
one.
you look
Yeah.
up on YouTube, Poets of the Fall, Late Goodbye, and I'm sure if you throw in Max Payne, it'll pull it right up. I think awesome song. So yeah, they are. I think they might be like a local band. I think they might be.
I actually don't know where they're from.
Yeah.
I've heard of them
Not
before,
100% though.
but-
What does Poets of the Fall mean?
I don't know. That's just their band.
They
name.
like-
only do poetry.
Days of the New was a
in
cool
autumn?
90s
Fall.
band, 90s slash like early 2000s.
Yeah, I literally.
Days of the
only
New,
know
yeah.
Obviously,
that,
Queens of the Stone Age.
Everyone knows them.
Everyone knows
yeah.
them.
Successful, and then Shepherds of the Ancients is not real.
It's a
Oh!
so.
I was like, I gotta look them up. Maybe they write about
Yeah,
Dota.
not
No, they
really.
absolutely do not. But
Dota thing.
all right, I'm gonna make sure in my Dota visual novel, there's
All
gonna be
right.
a band called Shepherds of the Ancients.
So we're gonna put we're putting a crooked number up for Brandon here
All right.
on the board.
Yeah, I'll take one.
If you want to try and stump the panel, please send your Xbox trivia question to us, to me. I'm the only one who will see it, so they can't cheat. It's unlocked@ign.com. Please include 4 multiple choice answers and note the correct one in your email, and we'll play again next week and all year long. All right. We've been here. I think we've about worn out our welcome, wouldn't you guys say?
We've talked a lot about.
I
things
don't
that-
want Brandon to die, so
I'm
I like
good.
that you were like, just to clarify.
I feel like Brandon's
Don't want
worn
him
out
to
his
die.
welcome in life. It's time for him to go.
Oh my God, my body's trying to tell me to just
So
quit.
I'm just establishing this so no one thinks it's me.
yeah, right.
If he dies,
She's
it's
giving
not-
herself an alibi.
I really
No,
care, you know. I just want to make sure
Plausible
you're safe.
deniability.
You're healthy.
I'm fine.
Allergies are serious.
I appreciate the concern. I don't actually. I've never had an allergic reaction to anything. I don't have allergies, so I don't know what it is.
Well,
Okay, now
aren't
I'm
you
multi-sensed.
lucky?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Anyway.
no, we feel those. Oh, the 3 of us have really bad allergies.
Oh
Actually,
yeah, God, yes.
Really?
The
Yeah,
last
allergy club over here.
the last actually basically just like this year has been.
Oh, yeah,
like
Miranda and I
this
were
ti-
messed
it's
up
this
again.
time of year. The winter oddly is like
Yeah.
horrible for me.
I've
really
been
bad.
waking up and my face just hurts. Oh,
Yeah,
So anyway, hope you enjoy hearing about our
Allergy
ailments.
I'm all gross and congested.
Yeah, it's
like,
terrible, dude.
Can barely smell anything.
Yep.
Like everything's all just not.
sinuses
not
all
right.
hurt. Yeah, it's
Sneeze a
rough.
lot.
Yeah,
Real bad.
But
Anyway,
people know I'm in the office.
Miranda,
oh,
where
Miranda.
where can we send? Where can fans send their allergy sympathies to you?
You can talk to me at Havoc Grows on Twitter, Instagram, kind of everything. Also, hit me up if you remember Xenon, Girl of the 21st Century, because that was the thing that I hope you all caught earlier. Zoom, zoom, zoom. It's very good.
Zoom, zoom.
yeah, me.
You can find me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. I've got a new IGN Unfiltered that I always like to promote and try and get as many people to check out as possible. This month's episode is with Diablo creator David Brevik, who had a ton of great stories.
Yeah.
If you love Diablo, you will be very interested. And of course, if you happen to not know Diablo but just want to learn about game development and what sort of
so many other games have been inspired by Diablo as well. So
yeah, so please check that out either on IGN, the video on IGN, or it's on YouTube or iTunes as well. So take a look at that. Alana?
I am on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube as @Charlanazad. Personally, I've been mentioning this already, but Marty and I started a podcast together. It's been really fun. Our first episode got almost 30,000 downloads. And yeah, it's been super fun. We have a really exciting lineup for that, so you can check that out. Details are at RLOC Podcast on Twitter. Professionally, I'm going to DICE tomorrow, so when this goes up, it'll be today. We've been live streaming everything that's happening at DICE. For anyone that doesn't know, it's
the Phil Spencer keynote.
Just went up this morning. Check out that. He had a lot to say, and it was a pretty powerful speech. What would you describe DICE as?
It's like
GDC, but not.
But like almost more about
it's industry.
Rather it's more like if GDC was more mechanical about sort of like engines and sound design and
they don't have students and stuff at DICE,
right? Yeah, like it has those, but it's focused, like a little bit more.
I'd almost call it more of like a higher level, and I don't mean that as an insult to GDC, but like just sort of a.
But like people like Phil Spencer go, it's very big names in the industry are there. And we've been streaming everything that's happening. So there's really interesting talks that are basically from developers for developers. So you get a really different perspective to what we have.
Maya Mollenhauer is giving, it'll have aired already by the time you see this, but just look up the video on IGN. She's doing a talk on sort of the 4-year journey of Cuphead.
Yeah, which is super interesting. So I'm hosting our pre-show tomorrow before the awards ceremony, and it's a different kind of award ceremony because again, it's all by developers. And that's going to be like interviews with a bunch of cool people. I think one of them is Rod Ferguson, creators of Fortnite. Like there's a bunch of different people that we'll be interviewing. So those videos will be up on all of our social channels before the award show streams tomorrow night. So check that out. I think you can find out more information on, I believe it's ign.com/events/dice. So yeah.
Fantastic. Brandon, take us home.
You could find me on Twitter, Brandon Tyrell. It's just my name because I'm a creative. And we are doing all kinds of cool stuff with IGN First right now for Far Cry 5. So if you're a fan of that, please go check it out.
And
also today's video is about Boomer, so the lovable Australian Shepherd / Blue Healer companion pup that
There's a Far Cry event. That Far Cry event is happening right now.
Yeah.
There's an actual dog at the event.
Yeah.
They have a dog there.
Incredible.
I should have gone.
I so regret not going.
We all should have gone.
Why did I do this show?
Yeah, it's on a ranch. It's on an honest-to-goodness ranch, and there are dogs and all kinds of crazy.
Daisy
yeah, I think John Ryan is the one doing coverage of that. So we'll
John
have
Ryan
more
and
impressions.
Brendan Hunt. So anyway, definitely check out our IGN First stuff. We've all been putting a lot of work into that, and there might be some fun Xbox-related stuff coming up soon.
Cool.
Good times. All right, thanks everybody, and we will see you back as usual this time next week.